Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Dear viewers, you're welcome in our program Islam in the Contemporary World. And we have so many different topics for the discussion, and today's topic of discussion is again very important, as we've been discussing so many topics in our earlier programs. Today's topic of discussion is about an individual with reference to rights and duties. These are very important words. While you hear, while you see, while you read in Constitution, while you read in newspapers, or you share with your friends, you think, oh God, what is concept of rights and duties, rights and responsibilities? For this important topic, we wanted to have a scholarly viewpoint and what is meant by rights and responsibilities. For this, we have invited two eminent personalities who would be talking about different aspects of rights and responsibilities and how an individual can play a vital role following his rights and duties, rights and responsibilities, rights and care of others. Our first guest for today's discussion is a person from the discipline of applied science, and he is noted for his work in environmental sciences. He was a former Vice Chancellor of University of Karachi. I mean Professor Dr. Akhlaq Ahmed. Our next guest speaker for our program is a personality from the discipline of law. He is a senior lawyer. He works for Sindh High Court, Pakistan, and he is a life member of Pakistan's Supreme Court, and he is a senior advocate working on different aspects of law, and he is a person who knows about the Western law and Islamic law. We welcome in our program Mr. Ch.Muhammad Iqbal. You're welcome, Mr. Qadri, in our program. After a slight discussion, we would understand what is meant by law, what is meant by responsibility. So, without any further delay, I would go to Mr. Professor Dr. Akhlaq Ahmed. Dr. Akhlaq Ahmed, you are admitted in the world as a scientist, and you work for environmental science. You think that an individual could create the best environment if he follows the term of rights and responsibility?
Thank you, Dr. Qadri, for inviting me in this program. Your first question about this program is the individual's responsibility for creating an environment which is conducive and it is good for everyone. So I feel that every individual is responsible for maintaining the environment. This environment may be your home environment, it may be your neighboring environment, it may be your city environment, and then country and international. So it goes on like this. So when we talk of total environment, it includes everything. The water that we drink, the air that we breathe, the material that we eat, and then we discharge all this. So it is the remaining material that is left after use, you have to dispose of in a proper scientific manner. So, and then the loud also, sound is a very important aspect of environment.
You're talking of noise.
That's quite right. You see, for noise, for sound, there is a limit. There is a limit for every type of activity. If you are like we are talking to each other,
and
we should not. We should try to maintain a value which is called decibel. It should not be more than 80, 85.
Yeah.
If we exceed that, it means we are not doing justice. And if we are shouting, then it means it goes beyond 90 or beyond 100 and so on. So there is a stage-wise, step-wise increase in that. And once you are habitual talker, or you are making all sorts of noise and so on, then a person is liable to have diseases. The worst disease is that you will have high blood pressure, you will have problem of disbalance and so on. So these are the repercussions of the high invoice levels. And so one has to be very careful as an individual and also in group as well, that we should be very careful about the environment.
It also refers to our behavior.
Yes.
How to behave with others.
Quite.
How to create our social norms, and how to be identified as a humble person or a person who is always involved in other activities.
Yes, yes.
And Quran is a complete code of life, and being a Muslim, we understand that Quran has saved environment. Quran has taught us how to behave with each other, and there is an example and reference of Quran I must mention here, I must quote. Quran says, La tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawtun nabi. Never raise your voice as compared to the voice of Holy Prophet Muhammad when he is in front of you. You should consider that you are in front of such a beloved personality, which is a role model for you. So this is a teaching, and this is an instruction that while you are in front of your parents, in front of your teachers, in front of your spiritual leaders, in front of your community leaders, or in front of anyone who is in front of you, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, according to Quran, has set an example. But like the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who is the superior of all, while companions were taught, be nice, be humble in front of him, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it means that it is onward transmission we have to follow. So coming back to this ayah, I would say that you are talking of all these that Quran has mentioned environmental science with reference to different ayahs and situations. So our next guest, Mr. Qadri, is here. Let's hear. You are a lawyer, and naturally law defends rights and responsibilities. So how do you take rights and responsibility of an individual in community?
First of all, I'll give my thanks to QTV through Dr. Qadri Sahab, who has invited me to this talk show.
You are welcome.
Which is in fact very important. It's a life-giving force. When you talk about one man individual, ultimately you have to revert back to the whole history of the human being.
Yeah.
Once an individual is taken, then that individual ultimately makes the society which can give impression that how we live. It is all depending upon one human being, the individual, how he acts, how he behaves, how he trades, how he fulfills his obligations, how responsible he is, how is he sweet, how is he fine, how is he polite, how is he sympathizer. These all qualities one makes individual a symbol for the society. And then bringing into it, when it is codified in law, law defines that individual is first step of making a good society where code of life, either it will be Islamic code of life, it will be Western code of life, it will be Jewish code of life, it may be Hindu mythology, but one individual plays a very important role. Suppose if somebody is a shopkeeper and the price aide knows that I have purchased this for 2 rupees.
Yeah.
That individual who is selling it, he has to say up to what extent I have to sell it to the purchaser.
So
he has to be reasonable in that.
Yeah.
He has to show his character that I am a responsible one individual who is parting with this facility, but he has to be responsible first. That will show his character.
Show yourself in community with honesty, and this honesty belongs to either to your constitution, to your community convention, or participation on large scale with other communities. We are discussing topic of individuals' rights and responsibilities. Please stay with us. We will be back very soon.